All right, everybody. Welcome. So Chaplain here, coming to you live with Operation Blitzkrieg, and it always looks bleak for the Allies in turn 3 and 4 as we get ready to go into turn 5. So let me give you a quick State of the Union here. The Italians are in North Africa a little bit. Aircraft carrier, 2 strategic bombers. The British are not doing well controlling them, and that's because the Germans have this giant fleet right here. Bunch of subs all over the place. 4, 5, 6 subs here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 subs total, I think. And he's pushed really deep into Russia. These are all the Russian units on the board. Right here. You see them all on this one frame. So, I've never played a good Russia, but anyway. The Japanese were moving pretty good into China, but, they've kind of been beaten back a little bit already, so that's good for me. The American fleet was decimated up here. The remaining American fleet decided to head this way. Serpentor and I have already had a conversation about the state of the game. He's making crazy moves to me. I'm making crazy moves to him. Such is life, man. But this is the late Allies, which means Commonwealth, France, and Russia. And Serpentor has actually made it very easy for me as far as Russia is concerned. Everyone's gone. So I haven't even planned out my Russian purchase because they're just gone. So here's the deal: Commonwealth has got 8 to spend on a destroyer, 16 to spend on an infantry, tank, and transport, and then 4 to spend on an artillery. We do have a combat here in British Somaliland. I'm going to try to take the Italians out of there. Everything else is non-combat, I believe. So, into British Somaliland, 2 infantry and 2 artillery. I know it seems like overkill, but I'd rather have more than I need. Turn that down a little bit, sorry. Nothing over here, nothing over there. Cha-cha-cha-cha. Yeah, Serpentor, you've made it very easy on me to just do this. I've got one guy here, one guy here. You got rid of my transport. Unfortunately for me, the timing just wasn't super good on my end, but it's okay. All right, so here we go. Cool. I guess this is the only combat. So I have 4 at 2 versus your 2 at 2. To the tray. 2 infantry supported by 2 artillery. And you have an infantry, artillery, and defense. I need 2 hits for no cash flip. I got 2 hits. In your defense, you got 1. So I will lose an infantry. So I kicked the Italians out of British Somaliland. Excuse me, it goes back to the British. Good for you guys. It's just money out of the Italian coffers. It's not really a bonus to anybody. At least not to the Commonwealth. Alright. And now we just have a bunch of non-combat to do. Not really a bunch, but this artillery and Anglo is going to go up into Cairo. Good job. Infantry in Yunnan is going to stay there. Infantry in Thailand is going to stay there. I'm going to send 3 submarines from P-57 up. 1, 2, 3 to the Marshall Islands, and they will link up with the Americans there. Let me set this down really quick. Just as a friendly reminder in our game with the Spoils of War cards, each submarine that's paired with a destroyer gets a bonus. It'll defend it at 2. So, there's 1 sub that doesn't have a friend, destroyer. I have a submarine down here. You can't see it on the screen, but it's in P-59. Could it reach 1? No, it couldn't. It'll just go to P-57. So I moved the submarine from P-59 up to P-57. The fighter's going to stay there. Deploy new units. Infantry, tank. Nope, there was 1 more non-combat. Infantry, tank, and transport down here in A-50. America. I made a grave mistake at the end of my last American turn. I decided not to build anything in Washington, D.C., and so I need my Canadian friends to come down here, tank, artillery, and 2 infantry, because the Germans do have a transport. And I would really, in the nicest terms possible, I would really be a freaking schmuck idiot if I allowed Washington, D.C. to fall to a single German transport. I could get it back on my next turn with my units from Western United States, but still. So the Canadians are coming down. All right, so that was the non-combat. I already started placing units. Artillery is going to go down in Queensland because I have the factory there, and the destroyer is going to go on P-57. So Commonwealth didn't save any money. 24 on the tracker. Set that down. 10. 24 on the tracker. National objectives. I get a +3 if you don't have, but you don't have Dutch New Guinea, you don't have New Guinea, you don't have New Britain, Java, Celebes, or the Solomon Islands. Oh man, looks like I shorted myself on my last turn. So that's a +3 for the Commonwealth. So that's 27. And then I also get a +1 for Ethiopia. So I will have 28 again to spend on my next turn. Disposition of Commonwealth, 2 infantry, tank, artillery in Washington, D.C., 2 infantry in London, infantry, tank in South Africa with a transport, infantry to artillery in British Somaliland, artillery in Cairo, infantry in Yunnan, infantry in Thailand, artillery, there it is, in Celebes, fighter in Java, 3 submarines with the American fleet in P-34, sub-destroyer in 57, 6 infantry, 2 artillery, 2 AAA in Queensland. Cool beans. That's the Commonwealth. France, the fighter is doing nothing, so that was France. Cool. Russia, let's work through this together here. The Russians have not a lot of money. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Oh, I'm going to buy 9 infantry and save $2. 9 infantry and save $2. Great. Put that money away because probably ain't going to get none of that back. Cool. 9 infantry. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to do a full Russian audit, too, for the record. Just financial disposition. I'm just going to grab chips because I don't need to actually put an infantry down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cool. I do actually have an attack, though. I am going to attack Rostov. I'm going to send an infantry from Caucasus. An artillery from Caucasus and 2 infantry from Rostov. Or from Stalingrad into Rostov. So 3 at 2 versus 1 at 2. And that's the only combat. Unfortunately for me, I'm just not a good player when it comes to being Russia. I'm not a good player in general. I don't know if you guys have caught on to that yet. My face-to-face games, I'm pretty good, but that's usually because I have a partner and we talk things through and I work better as a team. All right, so I have 3 at 2 in Rostov and you have 1 at 2. I just need 1 hit. And I got 1 hit. Your defense is a freaking course, a freaking hit. Infantry gone. So I take Rostov back. It's worth 2. But that really doesn't matter because I ain't got no money. Alright. I am going to move myself up to, though. I don't believe I'm at 31. Like I said, I'll do an audit. Excuse me. All right, non-combat movements. Again, Serpentor's made this really easy on me by just having taken all my units off the board. I don't even get to freaking do Lend-Lease. You have Archangel. I could do the Middle. I'll do the Middle East one, obviously. All right, non-combat movements. The artillery in Iran. Of course, I put it where you can't see. The artillery in Iran. It's going to move into northern Iran. Infantry in Stalingrad is going to rail up to Tula. You've got strategic bombers. I don't think you're going to take Moscow this turn, but you probably take it turn 6. Man, this is not very good. All right, cool. I think that's all I'm going to do then. I'm just going to place more infantry. I'm not going to move anybody into Vologda or nothing like that. All right, so let me fluff this up a little bit so we can actually see what we got going on here. Okay. I'm going to do a quick audit of Russian monies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 23. I should be at 23 on the board. Way off. With the 2 I saved, gives me 25. Alright, and then national objectives. That's a joke. Oh, I mean, I do get a +2 for having northern Iran, so I'll have, that's too many, so I'll have 27. And then I have to do my Lend-Lease, which is a couple pages over. Alright, Middle Eastern Lend-Lease. I have a dice tray. Just set it right here. It's a good looking dice tray from my friend Doug at Combat Miniatures. Not Doug at Combat Miniatures. That's Rich at Combat Miniatures. This is from Doug at historicalboardgaming.com. Alright, Middle Eastern Aid. What do we got? We got a 4, which gives us $3. More money for the Germans to take. Love it. That means that the Russians have 30 IPCs to spend on their next turn. Unless the Germans take it. Quick Russian disposition. I should have an artillery in northern Iran. The destroyer and cruiser here in the Black Sea. Infantry, artillery in Rostov. Infantry in Tula. 13 infantry and a AAA in Moscow. Because, you took care of all that over there. I'm the chaplain. I'll be praying for you.